Hey guys, we got the OBS f150 back in the shop today. Before I get into this video, I would like to thank everybody who's been supporting us and subscribing. We really appreciate it. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank y'all. The reason we got this thing pulled in here is if you've been keeping up with this build, we put shift kit in it so far and got some 456 gears put in the rear end. And now we got a bad driveline vibration. Don't know if it's carrier bearing or U-joints or whatnot, but you know, with the 456 gears, the driveline is turning a lot faster, so there's a bad vibration coming from somewhere in between there. This thing's got a lot of miles on it, 364,000, and still got the original carrier bearing, center support bearing, however you want to say it. So we're gonna get this thing pulled out of here and see if we can get that thing replaced and show you how to replace a carrier bearing and U-joints. This is what a driveline on one of these looks like. I got a spare one here I got out of the junkyard because years ago I replaced the U-joint on this one, and it was a little bit oversized for some reason. It was a different brand than I usually use, and it aggravated me, so I beat it in. I wound up cracking this yoke. But we're going to start with taking this apart. You just unscrew this collar here, and you'll be able to slide this back one off. And we're going to start trying to get this carrier bearing, center support bearing off, because this is original. It's never been replaced. You can see the rubber's all torn up on it. You're used to solid drive shafts. What do you think of a two-piece? Go ahead and say it. They're junk.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I bet your inner white girl got real excited when you seen them two shafts come out of there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. They're real big and long, too.
Yeah, you throw it off. Well, we got the two shafts split. That collar does not thread off. I lied to you guys. I've had them before where they thread, but you just gotta manpower it off of there. I've actually never replaced one of these, so we're gonna be learning this one together. I'm probably just gonna start beating it until I'm blue in the face, and then I'll try something else after that. Now I've kind of got down to the carrier bearing itself. Wound up getting the rubber off of it. It was so old it just peeled away with a screwdriver. So now what I'm going to try to do is get a punch here and then just start hammering this thing off. You don't want to mess this up, because this is what's going to hold your new one on. So don't get into this. Alright guys, I finally decided to use my brain just a little bit. It didn't feel good, but you're going to want to get this out of the inside of this bearing, because if you just start beating on this bearing, it's just going to make it tighter and tighter and tighter. So what I did is I beat the bearing all the way up against the back of the drive shaft, and then I got this punch, and I'm just hitting the edge of this, and it's just going to drive it right on off, and then you'll be able to drive the bearing off. That's actually what holds your carrier bearing in place. Now let's see what it takes to get the actual bearing on. I'll be glad to have this thing fixed, because this thing was vibrating worse than my old lady's pocket rocket. Can't tell if that's doing anything, but I don't think so. But I can't get it beat off in a second. I'll take the cutoff wheel to it, and that'll be that. It'd be a lot better off if they had this cheap tin lining on this thing. I think she's coming a little bit.
Yeah, it moved a little bit.
Gotta go from side to side. Hold your mouth right and just beat her off of there. So, after figuring out I didn't have any cutoff wheels, I just had to go barbaric on it. Just held my punch and just kept spinning it, beating it, beating it, beating it. After about 3 minutes, yeah, you can tell a little tinfoil got beat up. But there she is. Just a lot of beateration. It's the things you gotta do when you ain't got to press. So we're gonna get that one thrown in the trash. Or we might save it, you know, I might reuse that one day. We're gonna get this cleaned up, and then we're gonna get to putting a new one back on. So basically, this thing wasn't bent to begin with, it's bent now. But on your new carrier bearing, I'm just gonna slide it on it. Well, it's probably not gonna slide on there, but you're gonna put this little rubber lip to the inside towards this cup. I'm assuming. I could be wrong. Well, there you go. It's not just gonna fall on there. So we have to use your punch. Just go from side to side on this. Side to side, just tap it all the way on there. And then you're gonna grab your little collar and then drive it into that bearing. Well, found this piece of pipe that we use to drive on pinion and third member bearings, and it turns out it fits this thing perfect. So we're just gonna drive it home like that and see where that gets us. Well, there's our new carrier bearing on there. That worked like a charm. Just drove right back on there. 10 times easier and it came off. Now we're gonna move on to U-joints. Get these U-joints out. I got these little clips, or Ford does. Some Chevrolets I've seen, they got a little clip inside here. And you just get a flathead screwdriver and pop them out. I use needle nose pliers. Sometimes they can be a pain. Definitely can't use cheap Chinese needle nose on these. I've had these noses where they just bend out trying to get these clips out.
Those are cheap Chinese.
These are Harbor Freight, step above.
It's not what the label says.
I know, but what label don't say cheap Chinese?
Something that says made in the USA with global ports.
Yeah, assembled in USA. And all I do here on a setup like this is I like to have a wood table just so it's not beating up on the shaft. But I just go ahead and hit this yoke right here. So you can pull the cap. And there you have it. And then I've actually got a piece of cold roll with solid steel. When I used to do this with a old deep socket, but with it being hollow, it just tears everything up. So I found a piece of solid cold roll. It works a lot better to get these caps out. And that's it on that deal. We're gonna move this yoke over to the stock drive shaft. This drive shaft I just took it off of is a four-wheel drive shaft, so it's a little bit shorter. And this is the stock drive shaft out of the truck. This is the one that I actually had cracked beating on it before just because it irritated me. And the part store was 100 miles round trip, so I just chose to tear up my own stuff. What we're going to do is just knock this one out. We're not going to take it off the yoke, if I can keep from it. Get your little piece of cold roll. Driving on out of there. Come on, man. She just don't want to come off of there. He does irritate me to go ahead and break some more. Finally cooperated. And then all you do here is you just beat this back the other way to get the other cap out. And piece of cold roll getting a little beat up and crooked. Oh, he's not gonna cooperate with me. There you guys have it. That's some Napa U-joints. Part number 354, I believe. Yep, 354. I'll get this thing set in here. I'm probably gonna, I don't even know. I don't even wanna lie to you guys. Probably gonna start, put it in the yoke. Take one cap off. Oh, this one ain't gonna make it either. Come on now. Stop playing hard to get. Not gonna do it for us, guys. Just being a little prostitute. So this is the part I hate. There might be a better way to do this. If there is, I don't know. But I take both caps off. And I go ahead and put it back on. And then I hold the U-joint in there while I beat it down in there a little bit. And then you'll be able to get to the other side. Come on now. Just keep on testing my patience. Keep on testing. Looks like that U-joint fit good enough. If I didn't have to crack this yoke. I was willing to though. Just want to drive this cap down so you see that full groove where your clip goes. You see your clip groove. U-joints come with a new set of clips. Just turn her over, beat this one down till it hits that clip on the other side, and you should be able to put this clip in. Cold roll getting cattywampus on me. Let's have to give her more onions there. Now you see that whole groove's exposed. U-joint's still good. Maybe. So it makes me more irritated than it already has. Get your Chinese needle nose pliers. Put her in just like that. So always pay attention to your caps. Make sure you don't lose any. And from here on out, you just rinse and repeat till you get all of them replaced. On this one, you just take one cap off, slide the cap up in the drive shaft, and this bottom cap should clear. And set this cap back on there, and drive the whole thing on. Alright guys, we got it all replaced and back in one piece. We're going to throw this thing in there and go for a rip. See if that cured our vibration problem. Go out here and go 900 mile an hour and see if this thing's still vibrating. Bolts in there, didn't you?
Yeah, about 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 good. Any more than one, you know what I mean? Well, I'm running 70 mile an hour and no vibration. Let's bump it up to 80, 90, 100 if this old girl does. This is a closed course in Mexico. Vibration. You feel vibration?
No?
Oh, feels good. That's the best way to test your drive shaft. Works better when you actually got an engine that makes some power, not a 120 flywheel horsepower, but
Probably more like 10.
hey, chill out. This thing's old. But until next time, guys, we'll catch you later.